Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Samar from the Naqabi Diaries, and I'm reading this book, The Ideal Muslimah, linked to the PDF version in the description box, inshallah. This section is entitled, She is Moderate with Regard to Her Clothing and Appearance. So, the Muslim woman, obviously, when we leave the home, we should be wearing our correct hijab, inshallah. And it's important to mention that correct hijab is something which is modest all the way around. So even though we have flexibility when it comes to different colors and even fabrics, and every culture has its own, different ways of dressing, we should cover ourselves according to the conditions of the hijab, inshallah. And we should also not be showing off with our clothes. So we should be moderate in our dressing, and not just the dressing, but the amount of clothes that we have as well, and the amount of clothes that we even buy. So for those of us sisters who love fashion and love clothing, we should try to be wise when it comes to what we have as in our wardrobe. So let's not be so excessive. If we love to change our clothes often, inshallah, there's nothing wrong with that, but try to be economic with what you're doing for the sake of Allah. And maybe you can do things like fashion swaps or something like that with other sisters who are interested in changing their wardrobe often, for example, rather than always going and just buying new things and throwing away the old things. But as well, if your clothes are in good condition and if you take care of them, which we should all be doing, and you want to change them often, the other option that you have as well is to either donate them to other Muslim sisters who may not be able to afford changing their clothes on a regular basis, or they are in need, for example, donating them to charity shops, or selling them and donating that money as for giving it to charity, inshallah. So we should look good, inshallah, but we shouldn't be slaves to fashion, the fashion industry itself. Because remember, the fashion industry, it's a business. It's there to make money. And the majority of what is put out in the fashion industry, is not anything which is beneficial really to the Muslim woman. So we have to be careful that we don't get sucked into this kind of mindset where we are, focused on being overly stylized. Being fashionable is something which can be beneficial in some ways because it can help to lift your opinion about yourself. For example, for sisters who have maybe been overweight and then after some time they have managed to lose weight, getting a new wardrobe and, buying nice new clothes and looking good. I've noticed that sometimes with sisters, when they lose weight, they decide that, maybe they want to wear tighter clothes, for example, or wear things that are more stylish and more attractive in appearance, whereas before when they was heavier they weren't interested in attracting attention because they didn't feel that they had the confidence. But by gaining confidence through weight loss, this is not a ticket itself, sisters, to start to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we really have to be careful and mindful of that. And also at the same time, we have to make sure that we take care of our parents, that we are not looking wretched, basically, subhanAllah. Sometimes when we are mothers, having children, and we are so busy taking care of the families, we can forget about ourselves and our own personal appearance. We focus on the appearance of our family members, our children, making sure they look good, but we can end up looking maybe not so good. So this is also something which is important, that we should take care of ourselves, because this is a way in which we help our mental state as well, sisters, and help to keep our confidence as Muslims. And there's a hadith here, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, there was a man who walked with pride because of his fine cloak and because he was pleased with himself. Allah caused him to sink in the earth, and he will go on sinking into it until the day of resurrection. And that's related in Muslim. A'udhu billah, may Allah protect us from that, subhanAllah. So just from walking around being prideful because of his garments, because of this cloak that he had, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused him to sink into the earth, subhanAllah, and he continues to sink until the day of judgment. May Allah protect us, ameen. Alhamdulillah for everything. Jazakallah khair for listening. Anything that I've said which is correct is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and anything that I've said which is incorrect is from myself, and Allah knows best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.